Awesome. Okay, welcome everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining us for this info session tonight for our Doctor of Education Applied Learning Sciences. We're glad that you've joined us this evening. We have a panel, of course, of instructors as well as alumni that will discuss the program, not in full length, but just so that you have a bird's eye view of what to expect in the program. My name is Pamela Cruz. I am the lead academic advisor here at for the department. I am the person that you will deal with from the beginning until the end time to graduate. I'm also that one person that if you need some information, some guidance on who to contact, where to get additional information, I will be that person to reach out to. So again, thank you for joining. So we're going to just do a little bit of housekeeping. This session should last about 45 minutes. If we finish sooner, then we'll give you back some time. It is a recorded session, so if you have to drop off, you can always reach out to us and I'll be able to send you the link. Um, we do have enrollment advisors who will be able to answer your questions, so please do not hesitate to put it in the chat. And if you need to speak to an enrollment advisor for additional information, including enrollment, that number is 800-411-2290. That's a toll-free number. So at a glance, the program is about 2.5 years long to complete. There are 15 courses in the program. Each course is broken down to a 7-week period. So when you think about a semester for a traditional university, the courses are 7 weeks long with a 1 week break in between during the actual semester. And then in between semesters, you'll have 2 to 3 weeks, depending on when the semester breaks out, whether it's summer or fall. The GRE is waived for eligible applicants. So we just do case by case, look at your transcripts from your previous university to see where you stand, whether or not we'll need that GRE. It is SACS accredited. So if you're wondering whether or not it's accredited, we definitely are. And there is one accumulative project that you do in your very last semester. And just so you're aware, in that very last semester, that is the only thing that you're working on. It's a half a semester. You do your, some people will call it defense, but you will present your final project at that time. Let's go ahead and go over to the next slide. So we do have faculty who have joined us this evening. We have Dr. Jennifer Kahn, who is the program director. She's also an instructor in the program. We have Dr. Jennifer Krawick, who's also the chair for the program as well as an instructor. And then you also have Dr. Carpenter, who is an instructor. So if you guys don't mind, Dr. Khan, let's go ahead and kick off with you introducing yourself and giving us a little bit of information about yourself.
Sure. Hi, nice to see everyone joining us this evening. I'm the program director for the Applied Learning Sciences online EDD program. I'm also assistant professor in the Department of Teaching and Learning. My role in the program is to lead a group of core faculty and governance decisions. So we meet regularly to talk about students' experiences and try to make continual improvements and refinements to the program overall. I also serve as an instructor, as Ms. Cruz said. I teach courses on formal learning, and I advise students through the capstone project, which is that culminating project which you do over the last 3 courses of the program.
Thank you, Dr. Khan. Dr. Krawick, can you go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself, please?
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the session. My name is Jenny Krawick. I am the chair of the Department of Teaching and Learning, which is the department that houses the EDD and Applied Learning Sciences. So in addition to teaching in the program, I also direct our master's program in special education. And so there are a couple courses that I teach early on in the Apples program, but I am excited for us to share more about our program with you.
Thank you very much. Dr. Copperton, could you please tell us about yourself?
Hey, welcome everybody. So my name is Dr. Will Carpenter. A faculty member in the program. I primarily teach organizational learning and some of the intro courses. My background includes like corporate training, higher ed, and stuff like that. So if come to the program, you have a many of our faculty have vast experiences to help whatever project you're interested in.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. So along with our faculty panelists that we also have some alums that have joined us this evening. We have, I can see it now, Dr. Paris, we have Dr. Jordan, and Dr. Rivers. So, Dr. Paris, let's go ahead and introduce yourself a little bit, please.
Hi, everyone. My name is Paulo Pires. I am not there yet. I just finished my final course in the program, so I'm all about capstone now. I'm a candidate for my EDD degree in May of 26, so that's right around the corner. I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy to share my experiences through the program. It's been nothing short but amazing, and I wish I could do it again. I know this sounds crazy, but I really loved it. So I'm here to answer any questions that you may have. It's been a great experience.
Thank you. Dr. Jordan.
Hi, everyone. I'm Michelle Jordan. I am also an alum of the program, and I will echo Paulo's sentiments. I loved my experience at the program, and I would do it again. I absolutely would do it again. I am part of the inaugural cohort, so it's been a couple of years, but I always participate in the panels when I can. The program has had a tremendous impact in my life. I own my own business now, doing learning design, and offer, mentee services to anybody who reaches out to me from the program informally, just to provide guidance. So I've kept an informal hand in since I've been gone.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Dr. Rivers, can you introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about yourself, please?
Yes. Can everyone hear me okay? Hopefully everyone can.
Yes.
But I'm Deshawn Rivers, and I graduated from the EDD program in May of 2024. So it don't seem that far away, but I am currently a senior instructional designer at United Airlines, and I'm also an adjunct kinesiology instructor at DePaul University. And initially, I wanted to do this program because I wanted to become a professor, but I didn't know how cool instructional design was until I learned about it through one of the instructors through the EDD program. So that was a really cool experience. I'm excited to be here.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So these are our panelists. So what we'll do is we're going to have I'll do some questions for them so that you can actually get totally familiar with the expectation of the program and how flexible it is. And it is. I mean, if you are one of those people who, you work, you have family, this program is flexible to the degree where you're not um, in a place where you have to be attending a course, each week, but you at your pay during that 7-week period, you submit your assignments by whatever deadlines are set for the program, for the particular course, and then you move forward. We get you set up for classes, something that most students is like, okay, what do I have to take next? We take care of that for you. We take that part away from you where you don't have to worry about it. And of course, you're focusing on one course at a time to give you um, time to actually focus, okay? Let's go ahead and Dr. Khan, can you go over the curriculum a little bit for us, please?
Sure. So this is a snapshot of our curriculum. There's actually 15 courses. There's one course on the design of formal learning that is missing from this list. But these courses take students through theories of learning and methods to design and evaluate learning experiences. And so we have our students go through kind of mini design cycles where they're learning about theoretical perspectives and ideas around how to think about learning, how to think about evidence of learning in various contexts. Then they have opportunities to apply that through design courses, where whether it's for workplace learning, informal learning, formal learning, online spaces. And then they also are learning about evaluation methods based on research methods taught by our instructors who are engaged in research themselves. So that's kind of, those are the cycles. And then all our students end their program now with the capstone course sequence. These are 3 courses that take you through your culminating project. So our students don't do a dissertation, they do a culminating project. These are typically team-based projects, but they can be done individually. And students are required to design, implement, and then evaluate a learning experience or learning environment. And they do this through 3 courses that kind of scaffold that process. At the end, in that last class, if you will, when they've finished implementation and they're putting together a report, we do have in a 1 hour online oral defense where a committee asks questions about what they've done. It's really a chance for students to show off all the hard work that they put into the program, in addition to sharing details about capstone projects. And that whole process is guided by you have a chair of your project. So then you have this same instructor for those last 3 courses that guides you through that process. So it really is scaffolded, and we provide a lot of personalized attention at the end of the program in that way. So that's a snapshot of the program, of our curriculum.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Okay, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to actually do some Q&A so that you guys can actually um, get familiar with the program. Also, while we're doing the Q&A, if you have questions, burning questions, please put them in the chat, and then we'll get someone to respond to you concerning your questions. Okay, so I'm going to kind of cherry pick, you know, go like a round robin and go back and forth between the our alum and student, and as well as the faculty members. So um, let's start with a faculty member, whichever one decides, whoever wants to decide to answer this one. Um, what would you say are the greatest strengths of the faculty teaching these programs? Not everybody speak at one time. Dr. Khan, Dr. Howard,
I'll
Dr.
get the
Carpenter.
conversation started, and then others can weigh in. I think we have faculty that come with diverse backgrounds, which is really an essential feature for a program that's focused on the learning sciences. And so we have faculty that both do research in and bring expertise in these different fields and areas that help for students going across a sequence of programs to really understand these cycles of design and learning from different perspectives. So I'd say that's a real strength.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much.
I love you. I'm going to add something to that.
Okay.
I think just another strength of our program that I really want to highlight is the care that our instructors give and attention to students. All of our faculty and instructors really make themselves available to meet the students and support students. And so even though this is an asynchronous program, our faculty and instructors are willing to go above and beyond to help students be successful. It does take some initiative from the students themselves. So this is a doctoral program, but our faculty are very responsive, very willing to meet individually with students who need extra support, and really want to see our students just thrive in a program and afterwards and go on to fabulous career paths. So just wanted to add that.
Thank you. Thank you. The EDD program emphasizes practical applications. How is the curriculum designed to help students succeed in real-world education and leadership settings? Dr. Carpenter, let's let you weigh in on that.
Yes, thank you. So the EDD being a practitioner doctorate, one of the great elements of the program is that all students are able to bring their lived experience to the program and it matters. because of practice, right? You're subject matter experts, you're becoming scholarly practitioners. So the program helps you blend practice with theory, and therefore you're designing really effective solutions within the workplace or within informal spaces in nonprofit, in government. Um, it's really sort of this, you're given this toolkit to, regardless of the organization you're working with, you can provide them solutions. So it really makes you a standout talent once you finish. And that is one of the gifts, and also I think what makes us really stand apart compared to other programs.
Awesome. Thank you. Um, so I'm going to ask Dr. Rivers about this, although you might have touched on it a little bit. Um, how did this program, um, how did you how did you know that this program was the right fit for you for your professional goals and your learning style?
So I knew that this was the right program. For one, the advising team that I was speaking with before even beginning the program made me feel reassured, made sure that I was comfortable to ask any questions. So that was really reassuring for me. But while I was in the program, it was more so just how accommodating it was to my lifestyle. So you're able to complete this degree online, you're able to take your time, and I just felt it was a really supportive environment. And that's really what was crucial in getting me through the program. So,
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. So, Paulo, so how do how, I know, being online, sometimes students say, "Oh, there is no connection. There is no connection." So, how do you stay connected with other students within the program itself?
That's a great question because I lived in California when I started the program, so we were 3 hours behind, and I was the only student that had to have their assignments in before the East Coast because the assignments were due at 11:59 and mine would due at 8:59. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, how am I going to do this? It's so far, da da da. Dr. Krawick was I think she was my second professor. She made it very possible all the time to meet with me on off hours because of the time change. So that initiated the connection with the program. And then as I went forward through it, in maybe like the second or third course, you start to build momentum with your cohort of those in your program. And people lived in different places, different time zones. It was just the most awesome thing. And so we started to build relationships as we went through our courses together. And it didn't even feel asynchronous. It felt as though we were just meeting up every week and having office hours, doing our assignments that we would do, and just having a good time doing it.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much. Um, Dr. Jordan, Michelle, looking back, what advice can you give an incoming student about managing time and workload effectively?
That's probably one of my favorite questions that I like to speak to. And it is a topic that actually I just met with somebody that's currently in the program a couple of weeks ago. He found me on LinkedIn, which anybody on here, you're welcome to find me on LinkedIn and reach out if you want advice on this topic or anything else. I'm happy to help. Um, some of my big tips are before the course actually opens and you get the syllabus, like before like the Monday starts, spend the time organizing your folders. Create a folder for the course, create a folder for each week. Um, Go out and find the readings for the entire course and save them to the folder by the week so that you have it, and really take a look at your calendar, what you know you have planned with the assignment dates, and put reminders in your calendar for yourself. Start developing a plan early on before each course opens is probably the biggest piece of advice. Secondary to that, kind of piggybacks onto what Paulo was talking about. And that last question is building relationships. My cohort, and as I mentioned before, I'm part of the inaugural cohort. We created a WhatsApp chat right at the start of the program. We are still on it. We're still on it. We had somebody's birthday on Friday. We're all wishing happy birthday when the games are happening. That text thread is blowing up. We've helped each other get jobs. We've watched each other's children grow. And that comes from building that right from the get-go. Those are the people when you are tired and it's 10 o'clock at night and you're like, I don't think I can finish this. You type into the chat and somebody will have words of wisdom for you to help you along. So that building that community is something that takes effort, but it is really worth it, and it really does help you learn how to manage your time, and do the best that you can do, in addition to being self-organized.
Thank you so much. This question, I'm going to throw this out to um, Dr. Krawick. What distinguishes a Doctor of Education degree in today's job market, and how do employers view the credentials? For
Yeah, I think it's important that not all doctoral programs are created equal. There's a difference between a PhD and an EDD, and it's not a hierarchical difference. It's an intention of what you want to do with your degree. And so for students who are interested in a doctorate of education, these are folks who want to take their learning into a particular context, make changes, improve in practice. And so this degree really meaningfully prepares learners for their spaces of work. And I saw a question in the chat about, is this okay for K-12? Yes. The cool thing about applied learning sciences is tell us your context and it'll be appropriate for this program, depending on if it's a doctorate of education that you're interested in. So we've had folks in the military, in healthcare, in K-12 education, pre-K, higher ed, so folks who are already teaching at the university level. There's probably 10 more that I haven't thought of. Folks in the corporate world. Will, Jennifer, fill in. It's really, which is honestly the cool part about teaching in, and I think being a learner in the program, is because we talk about these concepts and then you hear it applied with your peers in all these different settings.
Yeah, so right. I would say that's one of the strengths of the program. And so like I was on I was at I was just advising a group that successfully defended their capstone project. And in this group, you had a hospital executive, and you had a elementary school teacher, and you have a curriculum designer who develops HR trainings, and they came together seamlessly and produced an excellent project that were focusing on it was on nursing education at a higher institution, so in a college or university setting. And one of the strengths of their project was the interdisciplinarity of their backgrounds. They were able to leverage their different professional expertises in doing their project and completing it very successfully. So it's really one of the stronger points of our program. The learning sciences as a field is an interdisciplinary field. And it's a field that emphasizes that learning is life-wide and lifelong. So it happens all throughout the lifespan and in all spaces. We think of learning as occurring throughout learning ecologies, right? Of different sites of learning, and so our program curriculum reflects that, and our students do too, and get really interesting and fascinating projects because of that.
Thank you so much. This I'm going to ask uh, Dr. Rivers. How has earning this EDD influenced your career path or professional opportunities since you completed the program?
I am very glad you asked me that. So again, originally I had one idea coming into the doctorate program of what I wanted to do, but then you discover that there's a whole world of careers and paths you can go down with this degree. It's not just limited to just teaching, or what you would just the usual careers that you would expect. There's so many ways you can go about it. So I was able to be introduced to the world of instructional design, which I didn't really know about before, through one of the instructors, Dr. Esvito. And I just thought it was really eye-opening, just knowing that there's so many paths you can take. It's not limited. Um, it's opened my doors to corporate. So I didn't expect for a degree in education to bring me into the corporate world. So I would just say definitely keep your eyes open, keep your possibilities expanded. Just be open to new ideas with this.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Um, uh, this question I'm gonna ask you, Dr. Khan. Are there any particular courses, project, research experience that you find especially impactful for students in this program?
Um, so I think you know, you can speak to different students and they'll say they'll have like one particular course as an example. Maybe the design of online learning has been particularly impactful for them if they're transitioning into roles like instructional design or or learning to kind of learning educational tech positions. I would say they would probably name those kinds of courses as being very helpful. But overall, on average, the most impactful experience I think for our students tends to be with the capstone projects. They're um, and perhaps because it's maybe requires the most amount of work in our projects, so there's a lot of effort being put in, but these again are applied projects, so they have real world impacts, and our students see that and are really able to firsthand experience how their degree will subsequently help them in the future, but within our program. So I would say those capstone courses probably our students would say, and maybe this is really a question for the students and not me, but I think they find those experiences to be very impactful. And then there's some of our different design courses, depending on our students' particular interests, can be very also meaningful for our students, and we offer quite a variety of those. So
Thank you so much. I'm going to ask Paulo this. Were there any course projects or experiences that had particularly strong impact on your professional and personal development?
That's a fully loaded question because there are a lot of courses in this program that I really enjoyed. Um, I'm going to take it to the beginning because I think that really shaped how I thought in other classes that I've had. And Dr. Crow, she taught a course as a human. What is it? Human. Hold on.
it was either human learning or
Human
effective
learning.
learning.
Yeah. And in that course, you learn different theories of learning and how you can apply them in different settings. And so that was the opening for me, like, what do I want to do with this and how broad you can use it? Like Dr. Rivers was saying, you never thought an education degree would take you that in that direction. But it helped me open my mind to see there are different ways of teaching, there are different ways of learning, different styles and efforts and all of that. I think that that foundational course really helped me open and broaden my horizons going forward through the courses. Like I said, I just finished my last course on Sunday. So now I have a broad spectrum of ideas between that course, the research courses, the development and instructional design courses. So now I have a whole image of where I want to go and what I want to do. And because of being fortunate enough to make it through this program and be doing well through it, I feel so much more, I don't know if aware is the proper adjective, but I'm able to see things in a different perspective.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So I'm going to ask this question for Dr. Khan. How do faculty collaborate to ensure consistency and quality across the online learning experience?
Great question. So we hold all instructor workshops and meetings on a regular basis where all the faculty come together to talk about synergies and how courses can build upon each other. And so that happens once or twice a year because we have a large faculty and instructor group. But on a more regular basis, the core program faculty, which Dr. Krauk is a part of, Dr. Carpenter are a part of, they, along with myself and a couple other colleagues, we all meet every month to discuss exactly what you're asking about. So we discuss how are our courses building upon another? Do we need to refine any of the content of our courses? We review syllabi. We suggest ideas for redesign. This may be tied to a question that was asked in the chat. As generative AI has become a tool for so many people in different ways, we've now talked about how do we need to adjust our course content in light of these tools, and we're trying out new things towards that end, even this semester. So we are regularly responding to student feedback and instructor feedback as well to try to refine and improve the learning experience. And that's actually the same thing that we teach in this program. So we ask our students to think about learning experiences and learning environments in an iterative way, and to constantly think, how can you refine this learning experience on the next iteration? We take that same approach to our program. So we're in a kind of a constant process of review and refinement to continue to improve the learning experiences of our students.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm looking at the time now, and it looks like we have about 10 more minutes for the session. So we're going to move on. And if you have questions, please continue to put those questions in there, and we'll be glad to answer those questions. Again, we'll also, have EAs of our enrollment advisors available. So if you're interested in calling and enrolling, most definitely reach out to us. If I'm going to ask maybe one or two more questions just before we go to the next step. But definitely put those questions in so we can answer those questions, okay? I'm going to ask one more question for our faculty members. For The University of Miami has an exceptional reputation and a strong global alumni network. How do our online educational doctoral students benefit from these connections, especially when they're located across the country, and I can also say around the world, because we do have some on other continents who are in the program.
I
Dr.
think I'll start, but I think Dr. Carpenter should take this because we're starting some. I'll just say the first thing. So all of our students have access to the University of Miami alumni office and resources, which is an amazing network, and it has wonderful opportunities for alumni. But beyond that, our program is now starting some initiatives specifically for our applied learning sciences graduates as we've grown. And so maybe Dr. Carpenter wants to share a little bit about what's going on and where it's going.
Yes, thanks. Yeah, so we actually have a LinkedIn group for students and alumni to connect and collaborate. So similar like what Dr. Jordan was saying, like continuing that community building, establish sort of a community of practice, so you feel like you still have people to connect with as you go on. As I like to say, the second half of your doctoral journey starts now, and then if the second half is once you graduate, because you will forever be a doctor. And helping you find opportunities, whether it's becoming a professor, becoming an instructional designer. A lot of students like to get into consulting, so how they start going down that path and just getting them acclimated to finding opportunities abroad, not just in their industry, in their specific sector, but also across the globe.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So we're gonna get ready to wrap up here and move back to our slides. And like I said, if you have questions, please continue to ask those questions. And again, you're welcome to contact us. Um, contact us directly at 411 at our 1-800 number. So some of the resources and connectivities that we do have for our students that for students who enroll in the program. We do have a career center. I know a lot of times people say, oh, I'm online. Do I have access to career advising? You sure do. I do encourage students, when they're halfway through their program, to start reaching out to our career center to start getting help with brushing up those resumes, doing mock interviews, seeing what's available out there. You don't want to wait until you graduate and say, okay, now I need to find a job if you're, transitioning from one job to another. So we do have a career center that will help you remotely. We do have disability services for, sometimes we have students who have disabilities where they need extra time in doing quizzes. So we do have that available. We also have our launch pad where you can get, with other resources that we have. We do have the Alumni Association. So, our graduate students have there are also other as- uh, associations that are offered on campus, even while you're in school, because sometimes students want to be a part of clubs and things, but we have those that you can actually be a part of. We also have online library. And I know sometimes people are like, well, do I have access to software? Yes, you do have access to different softwares that is free to our students once you become a student. So yes, we do have resources that are available to you and other ways to connect with the university. Um, let's go to the next slide, please. Um, what do you need to do to apply? Transcripts. Most definitely, we ask you, to order your transcripts. We do have it where you can send them electronically, so you're not worrying about snail mail. That is the best way for us to get them. You'll also need your resume, preferably updated one, so that the people who are reviewing your application know exactly where you are in your career, so that once you're in the program, they can see how we can help you enhance that. Personal statement is also required. We do require 3 letters of recommendation. So if you're considering enrolling in the program, you might want to start trying to figure out who those 3 people are that you want to send that recommendation in. We also accept financial aid to cover your tuition if you're eligible for financial aid, and the application is definitely online, so you don't have to show up in person to be interviewed to get into the program. So that is most definitely the easiest way to apply. So the early admissions deadline is Monday, November the 3rd. So we still have about 12 days before that deadline happens. So if you're interested in at early admission, it is on the 3rd of November. There's a $300 deposit waiver. And right now at that early admission deadline is a 50% tuition waiver, which is a kind of like a scholarship towards your uh your tuition. Um, and the number to call to speak to an enrollment advisor again is 800-411-2290 to start the application. If you scan the QR code, that'll take you right to our website, but it's applygrad.miami.edu/portal/online. Does any, does, is, does that, did we, hopefully we answered everyone's questions. If we have not, by all means, again, like I said, reach out to us. We do have enrollment advisors available Monday through Friday, from about 8 a.m. in the morning to around 7 p.m. in the evening, Monday through Thursday. And then on Friday, there are enrollment advisors who are available up until about 5 p.m. on Fridays. So we thank you so much for coming in and joining us this evening. As far as in-person or live courses, actually the program is strictly online. Um, I do know that students who want to come in to meet the instructors from time to time, that would be based on instructor availability, because they not only teach online, but they actually teach on campus. So, you'll have to reach out to each individual instructor if you're interested in meeting them in person. But for the most part, they are strictly online, and they do have office hours, so you can meet one-on-one with them via Zoom or by the phone. So again, we thank you so much for joining us this evening. Hopefully, we've answered all of your questions. Hopefully, we've gotten you excited about considering the program. And if you have considered and already started filling out your application, I look forward to working with you. And welcome to the U if you've already started your application. Thank you so much and have a great rest of your evening. Take care. Hope to see you soon.